What up, everybody? How's it going? Good morning. Today is Friday, October 11th, 2019. Oh man, I just woke up. It's about 6:30 a.m. right now, Pacific West Coast time, and I just finished watching El Camino Breaking Bad movie. Now, I did not get to screen this film and ahead of time this past week. And you know what? I'm fine with that because this past week was so busy. I got back from New York Comic Con and I was just like swamped with all kinds of other reviews. I haven't even posted my review of Watchmen yet, the new series Watchmen. I watched the pilot episode at New York Comic Con. So yeah, I can get to screen this film until now when it's already out open in the public. But I want to share with you my thoughts about it because I was a huge fan of Breaking Bad. Are you? Are you a huge fan of Breaking Bad? I love Breaking Bad. I remember watching it religiously. It was one of my anticipated thing every week because it was on a weekly basis on AMC network. And by the way, if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, all the episodes are available now on Netflix. Um, all 5 seasons, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's been out since, or like the show already ended in 2013, so it's been out since, or it's been out for like 6 years now. So this review contains spoilers. Okay, this video contains spoilers. This review is mainly for those of you, my fellow Breaking Bad fans, who have also watched today's release of El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Um, and also it's a spoiler thing because there's a lot of Breaking Bad references here, and you won't get it if you haven't watched the show either. Breaking Bad. Okay, so the story in El Camino picks up right after the whole shenanigan with Walter White breaking or busting Jesse Pinkman out, or busting Jesse Pinkman free from those white supremacists. And if you recall, he used this rigged machine gun system that pops out of Walter White's trunk. I remember when that happened. It was like the coolest thing ever, right? I watched it. I was like, wow, that's like it's a remote control machine gun thing just pops out and then shoots the white supremacists. Like I remember Oliver Stone had a beef with that. The director Oliver Stone, the great filmmaker. He's like, "There's no way that could be possible." Oliver Stone's like, "Oh man, the mechanics of that, really? Come on, are you kidding me?" Vince Gilligan. Vince Gilligan is the creator of Breaking Bad. But everybody else, all the fans jumped on Oliver Stone's like, "Dude, come on." It's a freaking TV show. What? You're a filmmaker. You should know better about suspending your disbelief. Um, I thought it was cool. I would not know the physics of the mechanics of how that might work, and I'm sure the guys at MythBusters probably could do experiments on that, or maybe they did. But I didn't watch the episode. But I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So anyway, the show ended with, of course, Jesse Pinkman driving El Camino on the road. Of course, after months being imprisoned in that cage, he got that beard on and got all dirty. And I thought at the time in 2013 when that was how the show went out, I thought to myself, wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. It was why? Because it was ambiguous, but it did not leave a lot of things hanging. You know what I'm saying? And it was not a closure in a way that, oh, um, excuse me. It was not a type of closure that's like Dexter. Do you remember Dexter? Do you remember how Dexter ended? That was so dumb. Like, oh, now he's a lumberjack guy, you know, um, working in some kind of a construction place, and oh, he might come back. He might be a serial killer again. No, it was just like it was a nice ending. It was like, okay, we're gonna set Jesse Pinkman free, we're gonna kill off Walter White, and that's the end of it. Um, I thought it was cool. So when I heard about this El Camino, trying to continue or trying to see where Jesse Pinkman is now after that, driving off on the road in his El Camino, I thought to myself, I don't know if this is gonna work because who are the threats now? And you know what? That's exactly what I was thinking also when I was watching this movie. As I was watching it, um, just a couple of hours ago. Okay, we see Jesse Pinkman reuniting with Badger and Stinky Pete. That's cool. They are the two comic relief. Always funny, of course, reliable. And then there's flashback of him and Todd, and it was like the flashback of him and Todd, Jesse Plemons' character. I was like, okay, this is cool and all, but this is flashback. It already happened. We know exactly how Todd ended up. Todd got killed by I believe Jesse Pinkman. Yeah, in that before that shootout happened or during that shootout. Um, so any thread that Todd may have on Jesse Pinkman's life in this flashbacks are not real threats at all because we already know. It's like, so that's my question again. It's like, what is there? The character Jesse is not at any risk except for, of course, aside from getting caught by the police, right? That's the only thing that, okay, um quote unquote threat. But there's no Gus. Remember Gus, the bad guy? Oh man, Gus is one of the coolest bad guys in the history of television, man. Do you remember the way he died? Holy crap! That explosion in that nursing home, and then he got out of the place, and he was fixing his tie, and you could see like the half of his body was just gone. It was just like, oh, dude, it was just all gnarly, 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 gnarly. So nothing like Gus. The white supremacists were already gone. That they were also a threat. So who else? Who else? So throughout that first half of El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, I gotta be honest with you, I was not too impressed. Yeah, sure, Stinky Pete, Badger, they're entertaining. Flashback of Todd, yeah, because Todd has got money he's stashed out somewhere, so I guess that's the reason why Jesse Pinkman would want to go to Todd's place. It's a smart thing to do. I would do the same thing if I were in Jesse Pinkman's shoes. Got to get the money first. Um, but luckily, a threat showed up. All right, so that's when I think Vince Gilligan kind of like, all right, we gotta put in some bad guys here. We gotta put in some antagonists here, and these guys from the candy melding, who pretended to be cops in this movie. That was fantastic. I'm like, all right, all right. So Jesse Pinkman is up against somebody. He's facing somebody that's putting himself in danger. So that's cool. I like that. And the way Jesse Pinkman kind of turned the table at the end, that was pretty fantastic as well. Uh, because it is so Breaking Bad, man. It is so Vince Gilligan to to drive you to look a certain, to look to a certain point, or like, hey, what I mean to say is like, hey, look, they're gonna do a duel, the Wild Wild West duel, right? And you like it, so your head is so fixed on like trying to figure out how this tombstone thing is gonna play out. But bam, just like the machine gun that pops out of the trunk. Jesse Pinkman has two guns, and one of them he held them in his pocket, and he shoots it from there. I was like, whoa, of course, of course. And you know what? I gotta be honest with you. I Even though it's already hinted, in that shot where he was looking at the two guns, that he took out of his parents' safe. Um, I still could not see that coming. I still do that. Maybe I'm one of those guys who's just like, but I don't know. Maybe you could you did you see it coming at all? Did you know that he was gonna have two guns at the same time and one of them in his pocket? I mean, I guess some people might have been able to see it coming, but I didn't. And so when that happened, I was like, oh, that is so Vince Gilligan. Because remember when before the a machine gun pops out of the trunk, there is a shot of Walter White trying to, I don't know, customize something in his car with mechanics. Remember that? There's a shot of him doing something, sort of preparing, some sort of a mechanics or some sort, and we don't know what that is. We At least for me, I did not know. I couldn't put the two and two together until the machine gun popped out. I was like, wow, so that's what he was doing. Um, so there's a lot of stuff like that in Breaking Bad, as I remember it, where they kind of give you a glimpse of it, um, and then they'll show you the bigger picture. It's fantastic. It's also fun watching some of the characters coming back just for this movie. Jonathan Banks came back. Kristen Ritter came back just for a couple of seconds of scenes. And after Jessica Jones got canceled, she probably like, you know what? I got nothing to do anyway. Uh, who else was Robert Frost, Academy Award nominee? He plays the fixer here, who gives you new identity if you want to start afresh. He came back as well. Of course, Stinky Pete, Badger. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. Stinky Pete and Badger, they're funny, but specifically Stinky Pete, that dude is actually secretly smart. He's pretty clever. You know, he's one of those he's one of those guys who appear, or from the outside he looks kind of like a loser, but you don't give him enough credit. You know those people, right? You know, like he actually knows more than you give him credit for. And the way he handles, trying to help um, Jesse Pinkman, I thought, was like, wow, it's very commendable on his part, and he actually thinks it through. That clip, that teaser that Netflix released, I believe last month, showing Stinky Pete in the interrogation office in the police, that's not part of the movie. It's not in the movie, but I thought that was a fantastic teaser. Because according to Stinky Pete in the movie, it's like, yeah, I'll take care of the police. Don't worry. What are they gonna ask me anyway? I can pass a polygraph test. And some of the words that he and Badger came up with, like Apex. Really, Apex? You're playing a video game and Apex comes down to your mind. Really, you would not in a million years expect such vocabulary to come out of Badger and Sticky Pete's mouth. So I think Sticky Pete is specifically Stinky Pete, not necessarily Badger, but Sticky Pete is actually secretly smart, in my opinion. Street smart, maybe not book smart. Um, and of course, Walter White is back, even though just for one scene, that diner. But that's funny, right? Walter White's cuffing, and Jesse Pinkman's like trying to help him, and almost cause a scene in the restaurant. Um, what's funny about that is Walter White suggesting to, "Hey, Robert, how you doing? Robert is in the house. What up? What up? I like your YouTube name. Make the cut. I love it." What I love about that scene at the diner in this movie, um, Walter White suggesting to Jesse Pinkman, "Hey, maybe you should go to college." Not that I'm belittling college. All right, I went to college. Hey, Robert, no, you're welcome, buddy. Thank you. Um, but and then they discuss like, oh, you should get your GED. And Jesse Pinkman's like, dude, I graduated from high school. You were there on the stage when they gave me the diploma. um, what's funny about that is that because the story picks up, right after it's like 2013, like it never left at all. It never time jumps, and the flashback is there, the diner where they're, I find it funny because okay, I find it funny because the story makes it seem as if Jesse Pinkman is this 20 something year old dude fresh out of high school, maybe a few years at least after high school. When obviously actor Aaron Paul, who plays Jesse Pinkman, is way older than me. He's 40 years old. And also that's also what makes it funny as well is that the story picks up right where Breaking Bad left off. And I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just me, but 6 years gone by, right? 6 literal years in real world to make Aaron Paul look like Jesse Pinkman of 2013. It was a bit of a stretch. um, so that's another thing that's also funny, in addition to the whole college idea thing. Maybe it's just me. If you disagree, let me know. Overall, was this movie necessary? Did we really need to know what happened to Jesse Pinkman? You know, at the end of Breaking Bad, did we really need to know the continuation of that? Was that necessary? Was this movie necessary? I don't know. I don't know if um I gotta be honest with you. I guess I was not one of those people like, oh man, why did they leave it just like that? Him driving off, No, I was not that. Like I said earlier, I thought it was a nice, ambiguous ending. Um, so if you ask me, I did not find it very imperative to, at least for me, I was never in a place where I wanted to know or I have to know what happened to Jesse Pinkman. You see what I'm getting at? Um, I wanted to know what happened to the Sopranos at the end of Sopranos. Remember that? That was an ambiguous ending as well. We don't know exactly what happened. I wanted to know more about that instead of this, you know, because the theory is that some people went into that restaurant and shot them up or whack them somehow, or maybe make them disappear like Jimmy Hoffa style. I wanted to know more about that than this. When Jesse Pinkman was driving off the road at the end of Breaking Bad, it's like, all right, cool, that's me. So I never had the like, oh, I gotta know what happened to him. Um, Having said that, I I like I really did enjoy the way Vince Gilligan show you what happened to Jesse Pinkman, and I'm glad that Vince Gilligan crafted it in a way that it has a happy ending. I like it because Jesse Pinkman, deserves a happy ending. Um, Despite having been a drug dealer, despite having done terrible things or killed, people and whatever, deep down, essentially, Jesse Pinkman is a good kid. Um, and I think Walter White himself knew that. That's why Walter White came in and rescued him. And then, and I'm glad that Jesse Pinkman has an has a happy ending in this movie. In Alaska, start afresh. He even gets like extra money. Like he would not have gotten extra money at all, right? Because the plan was to just give all the money to Robert Frost's character, the Fixer, so he can give Jesse Pinkman a new identity. And he even wanted just $1,800. He wasn't going after the whole bag of that other guy. He just wanted to start afresh. He would have started fresh in Alaska as a poor guy, and he would have been very happy. But as luck has it, you know what? You know what happened in this movie? He shoots up the other guys, and he gets his bag. So he's in Alaska. He starts afresh with a a pretty bag or a pretty ton of money, um, to like as a safety net, if you will. So yeah, it's a happy ending, and I like it. I like it. Um, I hope it gets nominated at the Emmys next year for a best TV movie category. We'll see. Does it make me miss Breaking Bad? This movie, does it make it, El Camino? Yes and no. I feel like the show has a good the show has good 5 seasons. There's no need to prolong it. I think what we see here in El Camino is nice, but it's not like I'm not gonna be jumping on the bandwagon or signing petition if anybody doing it of asking or demanding Breaking Bad to come back to return. I think the story ended, and the story ended nicely. There was no need to this thing. El Camino is special for what it is, but um, if Breaking Bad never returns, I'd be okay with it. So yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts. Those are the notes that I have on my screen about El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Go watch it. It's on Netflix. Which Netflix is so crazy, man. They always give us like freaking 3 movies every weekend. 3 new movies, 3 new series. I'm like, we have the Sam Worthington has a new movie on Netflix this weekend called Fracture, and there's a new season 2 of Insatiable. I'm like, dude, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm busy as hell. You are too, right? But at least make a couple of hours available for you to watch El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. You won't regret it, especially if you're Breaking Bad fans like yours truly. So thank you so much for watching this live review of El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. If you've seen it too, do you agree or disagree with my assessment? What did you think of it? Um, and share your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, and if you can help support me, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. As Heisenberg would say my name. Let's rock this.